is just fantastic. Captain's Log, Subdate 20010005.2. There is little to no news on the bridge work, so I think I may order a full-scale assault on the architect's homelands. I'm thinking of using napalm as a suitable warning shot. Somewhat interestingly with the subject we're going to cover today, it was actually sent to me through a number of people. Yes, turns out it's real. I couldn't believe it. But several people had alerted me to it, and I figured, right then, let's talk about this, because Australia yet again proving they favour their, heritage. Yes, instead of those that have suffered at the hands of the, perps. Yes, is a damning statement for how their system works. By all means, air quotes around the word works. Before we start that, though, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch tonight. It's either going to be fishing or murder fun time. I have yet to make my mind up. You'll find out if you go there. My Twitch channel is linked in the description down below. In the United Kingdom, there is a series of laws. They are designed to protect those that accuse others of very heinous crimes. Those people retain what is called anonymity, and they can retain it for their entire life. I have on many occasions argued against the fact that those accused are not afforded the same luxury, and that is because of the growing number of times they have been falsely accused and dragged through the mud. The societal consequences of being accused of certain crimes is catastrophic to the person being accused. Friends, family, employers will more than likely go out of their way to distance themselves as a form of self-preservation, but also seriously who wants to be associated with someone accused of those crimes. In the UK we have perverting the course of justice. Most countries have this in fact. However, it is rarely pursued on those making the false claims. And the person making the false claim, even if it is proven to be false, retains anonymity unless other charges are presented against the accuser. Well, with this in mind, we should talk about Australia. In what has been dubbed a major victory for those who like children, yep, and those that like to take advantage of people's human rights for pleasure, yes, they've decided to, this one's strange. For this to make sense, we should go back to February of this year. In Australia, a law was passed that I cannot fundamentally support. The Judicial Proceedings Report was amended. The amendment prohibited victims from publicly identifying themselves if the attacker was found guilty. Now, I can understand this if accused, sure. Attacker and found guilty, not so much. There is a way of getting around this, but it would cost about 10,000 Australian dollars, or about £10 to anyone with real money. And that would be via a court order. Anyone that does come forward and speak publicly about what they have gone through could be jailed for up to 4 months, or face fines, possibly both in fact, exceeding 3,000 Australian dollars for telling their stories and using their real names. This law applies retrospectively. What that means is anyone who has lawfully spoken out previously is now censored, and they are also prohibited from speaking out publicly. Media outlets who defy this can also be prosecuted and face fines of up to 8,000 Australian dollars, meaning that this legislation put forward by the Victorian government, while claiming to make fixes to another problem with the law, in fact, just stifles the ability of those who have spoken out to speak out, and may well actually harm those that raise awareness of this because the victims can't publicly address it. Do you not see the issue there? It is something where a crime has been committed and people need to be aware of why you shouldn't commit the crime, and you have now just made it so that people who have committed the crime are essentially safe. No one will know who they are because those who do know who they are can't say it. And I'll be honest, if you can prove without a shadow of a doubt that someone has committed these crimes, they should be tarred and feathered. They really should. It's as simple as that. And this law, the amendment to the law anyway, is a bit of a damning statement of how the Victorian government has acted to make amendments to the laws. A lecturer for the Swinburne Law School called Dr. Rachel Bergin has described the change as a major victory for convicted namblers, maps, whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to use the actual word. And those that love grape. Now, and to go back to the cost factor of getting a court order, Dr. Rachel Bergin has pointed out there's no way someone has 10 grand sitting around to pay to do this. Which, to be honest, she's right. Considering the current climate, I don't think many people want to spend 10 grand to be allowed to speak publicly about something that should be spoken about. Because of this change to the law, the hashtag Let Us Speak campaign has been launched. The campaign, which is a collaboration between the RASARA, which is an acronym, I can't say the word sadly because of YouTube, the Marquee Lawyers, End Grape on Campus Australia, and news.com.au are calling on the government for reform. Hopefully they get some positive results from this, because this is quite a bad precedent to set. A victim who has spoken out in the past and is obviously supporting the move to get this altered, called Maggie, told a story of how when she was a child, she and her older sister were abused by their father. When this person, Maggie, was 17, her father was arrested and charged with 3 charges. Grape, gross indecency, and multiple counts of bestiality. In 1997, 4 days before the trial was set to begin, he, using a firearm, took Maggie's older sister out after using a private investigator to track her down. The following year, he was sent to prison and pled guilty to murder in exchange for the other charges to be dropped. Which, I'll be honest, and yes, I say this as a judge, no. Life without parole for you, my friend. And your life is going to be in a sweatbox. If you've seen Season 3 of Prison Break, you know what I'm talking about. That's your life. Well, he's eligible for parole because after an appeal, the Supreme Court slashed the sentence for the crime against Maggie and ruled he could serve all his crimes concurrently, leaving him eligible for parole in June 2022. Your system is broken. If you like, I could send some judges over and we'll fix it for you. It'll just be one large building full of ISO cubes, without a roof, all shrink-wrapped. Yes, we are going to go and do that. You're going to love us. It's going to be fantastic. Maggie has said, I'm now a mother of 3 children, and I wouldn't want him out in any community. I'm not just scared for my children, I'm scared for all children. I also had to be the voice for my sister too. She never got justice for what she experienced either. She had originally, by the way, gone to media outlets to draw attention to the lenient sentence given to those type of crimes, only to learn that that new law made it a crime for the media to publish her name or her father's, because it could indirectly identify her. I'll be honest, he's going to try and find her if he still holds a grudge. What you've done is make sure that no one knows he's coming because you can't talk about it publicly. The Victorian Attorney General, Jill Hennessy, has written to the members of the hashtag Let Us Speak campaign to say sorry for their experiences, along with requesting the Department of Justice and Community Safety to look into the cases. I'll be honest, what you need to do is change the law. It's sad that many have had to set up GoFundMes for the court costs of survivors battling to overturn this gag law. Since these laws have been overturned in Northern Territory and Tasmania earlier this year, I'm hoping Victoria, I hope you bend over as well. As this one's quite interesting, I'd love to know what you think. It's quite a dark subject, I know, but don't worry, there's a Halls of Injustice tomorrow, and it mildly amuses me. Not as much as the woman who cut her hand off, but it's semi-amusing. Please do let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. If I don't see you on Twitch tonight, have a fantastic Monday, and thank you all for listening.